Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Now come on in. Now come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Okay, girl. Let's go ahead and get into the TMZ article. I know I got the Jasmine brand up here because that's the story that I saved, but I have the TMZ article that I'm going to read to you guys so we can get into the logistics, okay? And kick it real specific and correct about what's going on with Jeezy and Jeannie Mai before I get into my opinion. Okay, so Jeezy is now asking for primary custody of his and Jeannie Mai's daughter amid their divorce, claiming Jeannie isn't even taking care of their kid herself. The rapper just filed new legal docs obtained by TMZ, asking a judge to toss out the current custody and parenting time arrangement he hashed out in mediation with his estranged wife and requesting that his daughter be allowed to live with him full time. Jeezy says he initially agreed to move to the basement amid their breakup. However, he says Jeannie later moved out of the family home and took their daughter with her. Jeezy alleges Jeannie has since tasked her brother and mother with the majority of care of 2-year-old Monaco, claiming Jeannie's extensive travel schedule isn't good for their kid and adding that Jeannie has withheld his parenting time with their child for nearly 2 months. In the docs, Jeezy says the child would have more stability if he had primary physical custody, and that's what he's now asking a judge to enforce. This development comes almost 4 months after Jeannie hit back at Jeezy for claiming she was gatekeeping Monaco from him. At the time, Jeannie said she had accommodated all of Jeezy's visitation requests, including time over the holidays. She did cite safety as a concern the last time around, alleging Jeezy had unsecured firearms in his home before, which Jeezy insists is not the case. He says Monaco is never left unmonitored and that his firearms are always secured and safely away from the child. The custody issue seems to be one of the several hot button topics for the former Flames amid their contentious divorce. Remember, Jeannie previously suggested Jeezy might have been unfaithful during their marriage. So that's what's being said. Okay. Now, my opinion. You guys, as much as I would like to also see the villain in Jeannie in this situation, this man attempting to take full custody away from this mother of a 2-year-old little girl, I find extremely problematic. And I feel like he's doing it as a threat. I also feel like he's doing it out of vengeance. I feel like everything that he's done in their relationship has been out of revenge. And I'm not exactly sure for what or why, but filing for divorce before telling her he was going to file for divorce. And now putting it out there that she is keeping their child from him. And now he wants primary custody because her mom and her brother help her with her baby as she has a busy schedule. And I just have to wonder, if you felt that this woman was not going to be a good mother to your child, why did you have a child with her, Jeezy? Because she had an extensive busy schedule before y'all got together and only slowed down because of you guys' relationship, not because that was the goal for her entire life. It's very weird that you would get with a woman like Jeannie and now try to act as if she cannot care for her child because she has a busy schedule. It's definitely reminding me of Mel and Martell trying to act as if Mel was being just all loose with babysitters and having any and everybody around their kids, when really he just wanted to have the first right of refusal, which means he would have to know where she was, where she's going, what time she's coming back, all of those things. And he would be able to pop up on her or ruin her attempts to move on with her romantic life. Now, I don't believe that's exactly the same case with Jeannie and Jeezy, but I do believe that there is a cultural difference and there's a lot of ignorance with people thinking that there's something wrong with Jeannie's mom and brother helping her with their daughter. That's insane to me that you think that's an issue. That's how it's supposed to be. Trying to punish Jeannie because she's has help because she's not the only person responsible. I think you thought you leaving her was going to put her at a detriment. I think that's what worked with your baby mamas before. Because don't you have 3 kids already? Whom I see you have never asked for full custody of. I wonder why. Maybe because the other baby mamas didn't have the means or the money to fight you in court over child support. And they just had to take whatever they could get from you. But see, Jeannie Mai is not that. Jeannie Mai has the lawyers, the wherewithal, and the mentality to fight back if that's what she sees fit to do. So it just, to me, it feels like he's trying to punish her or control whatever's happening in this divorce by way of blackmailing her with taking full custody of their child. It feels like an effort to hurt her. And I wish that I felt she had done something that would make this warranted, but I feel like this is common amongst ain't shit ass men who have money, is them attempting to take full custody of children so that they don't have to pay child support to a woman they're no longer screwing. That's what it feels like to me. And I know there are instances where mothers are unfit, but I feel like it's crazy for him, after having 3 kids that he definitely doesn't live in the same house with, definitely isn't there for every day, and you want to take custody of this child, which probably has way more access and way more, community help. I think it's so weird when you get mad at women for having support from her mom and her brother. And then what is this shit where she took the baby, right? She took the baby, she left. I think she went to Vietnam, but she's been out of town and he hasn't seen the baby for 2 months, I think he said, because she left and went out of town. That's an issue. If that's a problem, that's an issue you could take up with the courts. Absolutely, right? Fine. But I have to wonder, how do you know how much Jeannie is doing for the baby if you have not seen her or the baby in a month or 2? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think you're just saying whatever niggas say so that you can make her look bad in the press. First of all, I think you've been doing that since the divorce. And I also feel as if you are just being vengeful and you're being an asshole. And I feel like this just validates even more so why I do not like Young Jeezy. And I did not care about Young Jeezy. But then that interview that he did with Nia Long, that weird ass shit, yeah, that's when I was just kind of like, oh, this nigga thinks he's smart. He thinks he's smart. You think you're going to use African American Black treasure, Nia Long, to bring the Black people back around to you and your image. It was basically like dog whistling. I'm a victim. I have mother issues. I have trauma. I'm willing to say it. I look nice. I look clean. I'm sitting across from a Black woman we all know and love and showing her respect. By God, I must be a good guy. And when I fuck up, you should forgive me because I had a really messed up childhood. That's what it was giving. And I told y'all it felt like he was setting us up to clean something up before we even saw what it was, to make him look like the good guy instead of the drug dealing, maybe slightly alleged murderous rapper. I don't know. I don't know Jeezy's life. I don't know, but I've heard his lyrics. I've heard his lyrics. I know about the beef with him and Gucci. And hey, street life is street life. You know what I'm saying? Street life. You better run and hide. Street life. For a nickel or dime. Street life. The only life I know. Street life. Listen. All I know is this is nasty. This is just nasty, y'all. I don't like how any of this feels. And I feel like he really was trying to get the Black community to, rally behind him on some Tyree shit against this Asian woman. And I just feel like, no, my nigga, because at the end of the day, you chose to be in a marriage, in a relationship. Like out of all the black baby mamas you had, you decided to marry Jeannie Mai. You pedestalized her. And now you want to use black people to tear her down. No, sir. You can go back over there. You can go back over there. It's okay. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I don't think any of those Asian women are going to want you, but you can go on away from me with this. Hold up, y'all. Child. Titties be itching and shit. Anyway, I was annoyed. Okay, let me read you guys' comments. He doesn't want to pay child support. Just take that baby and give it to another woman to raise. You know that's what I'm feeling, because I don't think you're going to be the primary caregiver, young Jeezy. Yep, that pissed me off. He knew his ex-wife was Asian, and now he wants black women to fight his useless battles. Yep. He is being spiteful for sure. Say he get full custody, he's going to have someone else watching that child. And we all know it. We all know it. But I thought their current custody arrangement was joint custody. So she would have had to tell him prior to leaving the country. So she's probably not doing anything against what's been agreed to. He was asking for their original agreement to be thrown out. So she probably wasn't like doing anything wrong in that situation. Why not her mom and brother? They was living with them while they was married. Yeah, I think this is just like one of those things that American people really love to press, that you're not as good of a mother if you need help or if you get help from family members. But I grew up in a community with my family, so I was taken care of by cousins, by aunts, by uncles. You know what I'm saying? By parents and godmothers. Like, there is extended family that takes responsibility for children. And the idea that that is not right is just stupid and really counterproductive to a child's growth. And I think it's also that men can pigeonhole women into certain positions. You don't want them to have help because you want them to have to need you for help. And you don't want to really help them, but you do want to be able to control them. And a way to control them is to control the dynamic with the child. That's what I think it is. I think one of his baby mamas is Indian or Arab. I don't think all the moms are black. I think it's the mother of one of his sons. Okay, so all of them are not black. Got it. Raising children in community is amazing. Having your family help is amazing. That's how I felt growing up. I thought it was amazing that I was able to go by my grandmother when my mom went to work until I got older. And then I started spending time at my mom's shop. And my grandmother and my grandfather lived on the other side of her hair salon until they passed away. Then my uncle and my cousin and her kids shared that place for a long time until Katrina. Like, ultimately, I've always been surrounded by my family. You know what I'm saying? My cousins used to pick me up from school because they worked at my mom's hair salon after school to make money. You know what I mean? Like, the first way to get your hustle on was to come and work at Titania shop. Okay. So I'm just saying, I grew up surrounded by my family and being supported by my family. And so I do not like, I learned how to cook eggs from my boy cousin, my older boy cousin. Like, people took time, with each other when I was growing up. It's really not like that anymore, but I also feel like that's because everybody's so spread out since Katrina. But still, like, come on. The idea that it's an issue for her mom and her brother to be helping her is insane to me, because with Jeezy, who's going to be helping Jeezy with the baby? Is Jeezy going to be Superman and be able to handle that baby all on his own all the time? I just can't see that happening. I also don't see a lot of men having the temperament to take care of a child. This absolutely, long-term, all the time like that. Not Jeezy. I might see other men who I feel like have that capacity, but I don't even feel like that little girl wants to just be left with him. Like, at 2 years old, I was able to say, no, I want my mom. At 2, I was able to be like, no, where's Tanya? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think this is terrible. When everything was good, he was happy to have Mama Mai to embrace him as a son after losing his mom. Now she's not adequate. Right. Now it's the issue. And then you have a whole bunch of bummy ass dudes in the comments talking about how other people shouldn't be responsible for your kids. Get the fuck out of here with that. Because you can't possibly know how much Jeannie does with her child in order for you to feel like the mom and the brother are the only people responsible with the child. And honestly, who better? Who better? Because when y'all leave y'all kids, who do y'all leave them with? The grandmother. That's who y'all usually leave your kids with. Especially these single fathers that like to pretend like they doing shit with their kids. Go get the kid from by the lady or the girl house and then go bring the baby to the mama. Like, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. People in real life rely on grandmothers, aunts and uncles, whatever the fuck. Like, people rely on their family to help them with children because everybody has to work. Everybody has to take care of themselves. And I feel like on some level, putting that type of pressure and that type of messaging on Jeannie Mai is so detrimental and harmful to our community. I don't understand how y'all don't see how that's harmful. And it's like all of these bird ass bitches that just want to defend some dick they will never get in the comments, girl. Girl, he's not gonna fuck you. Give it up. Give it up. I'm ready to go. And we're going. Okay. So I'm not gonna play the track. Wait, hold up. I want to play the track, but I don't want to get, let me see.
You did a bitch wrong and another bitch gone. She post with a thug. Yeah, with a thug. Caught a bitch phone, she won't come home. Don't beat her up. Don't beat her up. It must be the drugs. Must be the drugs. Need to cross out the plug. Yeah. David.
Oh my God. That was Quavo's hold up. That was Quavo's response. But let's hear Chris Brown. Hold up.
Fucking my old bitches ain't gonna make a sequel. Sipping at 1942 cause I don't do no Quavo. Freak bitch, she like Casamigos, not the Migos. I don't fuck Puerto Rico. Okay, now fucking my old bitches.
I'm gonna say I think Quavo's lines were better. Also, I think it's lame as fuck for any man to view a woman as his leftovers or his old piece or any objectification of a woman as if she is not her own freestanding human being who chooses who she's in a relationship with, who she screws, who she lays down with. And honestly, y'all both fucking with the same chick on some level. In this industry right now, Chris Brown and Quavo, when it comes to celebrity level, honestly, Quavo might be more famous than you simply because he doesn't have any like real problematic history, even though he did snatch that thing from her that one time. It's not the same thing as you busting up Rihanna's face and Karrueche having to put a 5-year restraining order on your ass. You know, amongst all the other allegations we've heard about you, Chris Brown, that we really haven't heard about Quavo as much. You know, so I'm just gonna say in the marketplace, even though musically, of course, you are leaps and bounds ahead of Quavo because you've been doing this for much longer and you are highly successful. I don't even think there's been a year since you came out that you haven't been on the radio. So, like, congratulations. Congratulations, Chris Brown. But you a bitch ass nigga. Ultimately, you could be as successful as you want to, but you a bitch ass nigga that a lot of people do not want to back or put their money behind. So you lose out on a lot of opportunities because people don't want to fuck with you. People don't want to fool with you. No matter how successful you are still gate kept out of certain spaces, getting certain opportunities because people don't want to fuck with you. And then you get mad about it. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, I feel like Quavo can be hired for a lot more opportunities than you can. Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. Okay? Like, and you thinking that you can use Karrueche in such a manner is so fucked up and disrespectful. And just to me, this showcases the mentality that Chris Brown still has, which I find abusive and unsafe when it comes to women. No matter how much y'all try to act like that's not what's going on, no matter how much y'all try to, you know, let that halo effect keep y'all from seeing Chris Brown as the true demon ass nigga that he is. Girl, unsafe nigga, period. Okay. And you know, it's not that I, you know, have that much consideration for Quavo, but his shit was better. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. He said, don't beat her. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit was funny. Anyway, just because it's like, yeah, call this nigga out. Oh, abusive ass fuck nigga. Anyway, let's move on. Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. Okay, so y'all, Tia Mowry announces new reality show. Girl, what? Yes, revealed on Instagram Wednesday, April 10th, that her new reality show will appear on WeTV in all black. Okay, girl, I'll be watching. I want to see what's going on. Opening up about the upcoming series titled Tia Mori, My Next Chapter, Tia Mori posted behind the scenes photos and footage and thanked fans in the caption for their support throughout. My life, the ups and downs, my wins and my struggles. She added that she is determined to pull back the filter like never before, adding, recently divorced for the first time in my life, I am truly experiencing what life is like on my own, both personally and professionally. As for what viewers can expect, Tia Mori, who finalized her divorce from actor Corey Hardwick this time last year, wrote, and I quote, in each episode, the series delivers the ultimate access to behind the scenes goings on of my multifaceted life. You'll join me as I navigate my newly single status, motherhood, building businesses, and juggling my super busy and ever evolving career. She continued, I'm ready to date, take my multiple businesses to the next level, and discover what makes me happy. With this exciting new chapter comes profound changes and adjustments to the roles I play in my everyday life. Well, that sounds like it's going to be interesting, Tia. And I can tell that you've been working towards something because social media is basically the jumping off point. If you want a TV show, if you want to create something that you want to bring to a broader audience, create it on social media first and then see if you can sell it. That's basically how this works. So, yeah, congratulations to Tia. Get another check, girl. Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. Okay, yeah. Do that thing, do that thing, do that thing. I'm here for it. Let's see. Damn, I wish I would have went to J. Cole and Kendrick after I did Chris and Quavo. God damn it. But you know what? I did Tia. So we're going to do this Deion Sanders story and then we'll go back to the J. Cole situation. Okay, beef amongst the rappers. That's what the rappers are doing, girl. They're beefing. Anyway, Deion Sanders. Deion, I don't know if this is a recent picture of you, but I hope you're bald again. Because I feel like when you went and got those hair plugs, it was a bad decision. Anyway, so while Deion Sanders isn't delighted about being a grandfather, he's fully supportive of his eldest daughter, Deandra. The 31-year-old is expecting her first child with R&B artist Jacquees. In a recent interview with People, Sanders confessed that he hasn't fully digested the news of his unborn grandchild, but expressed pride that Deandra had reached a critical life stage. I haven't digested that whole thing yet, the Colorado Bull my mouth. The Colorado Buffaloes head coach admitted, adding that not one thing excites him about being a grandma. Not a grandma. Did they mean grandpa? Never mind. Deandra, not one thing excites me about being a grandpa. Like, is that what he really said? Not one thing? Y'all, what kind of asshole shit is that to say there's not one thing about being a grandfather that excites you? Girl, I think that's why Neighborhood Talk said grandma, because he couldn't have said grandma. But what the fuck? Like, why? Yeah, I feel like that's such a weird thing to say that you don't expect to like be excited about being a grandfather as an old ass man. Like, you're passing on your seed, sir. Deandra and Jacquees appear to be in excellent spirits as they prepare for the arrival of their first child, which was revealed last month in an Instagram post. Deandra stated in the post that she is giving birth to give hope to all the other women that may be in my situation following previous health difficulties. Even though this was not planned nor expected, this is still something God allowed to happen. I'm not having my baby to keep a man. I'm having my baby for all the times I was told I would not be able to. My God. And that's the way he responded. I understand Jacquees is not necessarily a prize, okay? But Jacquees is relatively successful in comparison to any other bummy nigga that she could have got with that probably, played football. And then when he didn't, make it, bummed out or some shit like that. Like, you would have preferred for her to be with a football player or something. Like, I don't know. But I feel like this is really fucked up to say in a public forum about your daughter's pregnancy after it seems she had some trouble conceiving. And yes, she's 31. Like, she's a grown adult woman. And as she said, she's keeping her baby not for Jacquees' ass. Okay, not for the yodeler. But she's keeping the baby because of all the times that she was told that she wouldn't be able to have one. And this is your response that you there's nothing that excites you about being a grandpa? That's what you said, Dion? Damn. That's that's some real fucked up shit to say. That's some real fucked up shit to say. Hold up, let me see. Because Cayenne said, now why would he be excited about being a grandma neighborhood? I wanted to see if neighborhood responded. I think it was a typo. Or they did it intentionally because he said there's nothing that excites him about being a grandpa. But I just feel like if that's because of you not wanting to be old, dude, please grow the fuck up. That's insane, y'all. I think if it was one of his sons, I wonder if his comments may have been different. Ain't DeAndre the one that used to kitty click with Nia Riley, or was that another one of his daughters? I don't know. The continuation of your bloodline, the chance to do better than you did with your own kids. Dion sounds like a bitter old man. It's not about the baby daddy. It's about your grandchild, sir. I got you. Yeah, I'm so like annoyed with this. I didn't read this beforehand, so I didn't know that this is what he said. He did say, I want to make sure she's emotionally and psychologically well. And I understand that, but there's something about the wording of that that's problematic to me. Y'all, let me see if I can find this original. Okay, Deion Sanders, People, 2 days ago. Deion Sanders is a dad of 5. And now he's soon to be grandpa. The legendary multi-sport star's eldest daughter, 31-year-old daughter Deandra, announced on Instagram that she's expecting her first child with partner Jacquees. Sanders, who is now set to become a grandfather for the first time, opened up to People exclusively about the exciting news. Though he revealed his thoughts and feelings haven't quite sunken in since learning about the forthcoming family milestone. He says, I haven't digested that whole thing yet. Why that whole thing? Okay, like that just sounds like such a weird thing to say. Says how he's processing his upcoming role in a family when speaking to People. Okay, so he's directly spoke to People. Despite admitting that not one thing excites him about becoming a first-time grandpa at the moment, Sanders nonetheless expressed proud dad energy when sweetly speaking about Deandra. He said, I'm proud of my baby that she's at least waited until her 30s to give me this gift of life, he says. I am happy about that, but I want to make sure she's emotionally and psychologically as well. Okay. All right. Deandra's announcement on Instagram had a more serious tone. She explained all of the reasons she's having the baby in the caption of the video that appeared to be a scripted reenactment of her real life experiences. She told her followers that her pregnancy was not planned nor expected in the caption of the video. I'm not having my baby to keep a man. I'm having my baby for all the times I was told I wouldn't be able to, she wrote. I'm having my baby for the 4 mastectomy surgeries I've had. I'm having my baby for all the years I stayed on birth control, even though it gave me breast tumors. I'm having my baby for all the doctors that told me I wouldn't make it out of my first trimester. Sanders, meanwhile, welcomed Deandra and Deion Jr., 30, with his first wife, Carolyn Chambers. He had 3 children with his second wife, Pilar. Bigger Sanders, Shiloh, and Shador, and daughter Shalomi. I'm sorry. So Shiloh, Shador, and Shalomi. Since Deandra announced the pregnancy news, Sanders tells People she's doing great. He also left a supportive and encouraging comment on her Instagram post when she made the baby announcement in March. Preach, baby, preach. And you having this baby to make me a darn granddaddy, even though I'm young. He wrote, I love you, baby. And I'm glad you said you ain't having a baby to keep a man. You've always had a man in your life that you call daddy and ain't gonna ever let you down, especially when I'm up. Sanders is a family guy, and though his children are grown, he's sure to get in time. So it sounds like what he said might have been in jest. Like he might have just been joking because, you know, he think he pretty and shit. He wanted them, I'm a pretty young nigga, so I don't want to lose my pretty young nigga-ness. But I do feel like there's some shade in the way he's responding to it. He's cleaning it up as I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? He talks about Boost Mobile and all of that. But yeah, it sounds like he was actually supportive in her comments. And, it sounds like he was supportive at some point in this interview. But that first part with him saying that he is nothing that excites him, he says, not one thing excites him about becoming a first-time grandpa. Yeah, he is still giving asshole. Dion is a little misogynistic. Oh, we're not surprised. We know, girl. We know. Lady T, thank you for being a member for 22 months. Happy Friday, my girl. My birthday is next Thursday. Woohoo. Off early for lunch with my girl and a massage. Happy weekend, y'all. Happy weekend, love. Enjoy. Happy early birthday. His verbiage is definitely weird. Maybe he just worried about her health and can't effectively express it. That might be another thing. Even Floyd Mayweather kept it positive when he found out that little special daughter he has got. Girl, listen, we gonna let Dion off on this one, okay? And let's go ahead and move on. Let's move on to let's talk about J. Cole and Kendrick. So I'm gonna tell y'all, when I saw the J. Cole Kendrick beef thing, I was really saddened by it because I feel like they are two of the most intellectually astute, lyrical minded, talented, artistic rappers out there. I think that there are a lot of rappers out there that are toxic and promote bullshit. Drake, Future. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel, that there is a mainstream bullshitty toxic vibe that I think J. Cole and Kendrick kind of give a alter side to in some form. Like, nobody's perfect, don't get me wrong, but I do appreciate the energy in their music in comparison. It feels more of a diary of somebody's own like thought process in bettering themselves as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like what they go through in their own mind trying to elevate as a man. I feel like I hear it in J. Cole's music. I hear it in Kendrick's music. That's not what I hear in Drake and Future's music. I hear party and bullshit and we love coochie but hate women. You know what I'm saying? Shit in their music. You know what I'm saying? So to hear that, they had basically picked sides with the Drake versus Future shit and decided to like beef with each other, like I was disappointed in that. I was not happy about that at all. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. So this is what J. Cole said after they have been, dissing each other back and forth.
I know one, it's just a lead up. It's just an EP that leads me up to this thing that I've been working on for a long time. And I know the work it took to get to a certain type of skill level. And I love this shit. So that shit mean a lot to me, right? So I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that shit that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I got to keep it 100 with y'all, right? I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right? So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested? Because I got the world and I got my niggas like, oh, proud of that project because what you gonna do, Cole? My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. Text flooded. I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime. Boom, boom, right? Niggas want to see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about my peers, these two niggas that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back, and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a fucking microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bro, that was the lamest, like, goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out, jab my
Phone call.
Okay. J. Cole responds to Kendrick diss. I got a phone call that said somebody was dissing. He fell off like the sim. Yeah, nah, they was definitely throwing jabs back and forth. And this is not what I wanted for them. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. This is not what I wanted for them. And apparently they've been throwing jabs back and forth for a while now, right? So people, was mad basically. Like J. Cole apologizing for some real friendship shit. I understand we want hip hop beef and diss tracks, but let's not act like it could get ugly. It could get ugly behind the scenes. J. Cole never been that guy looking for smoke. He's always been the type of guy to give people their flowers and spread love. And this is the thing. Like, I'm glad that this is mostly the response because that's how I feel. Y'all, growing up in the 90s, rap beef is not something taken lightly. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up in the 90s and watching your favorite rappers get murdered over niggas fighting over tracks. You know what I'm saying? And having fans and posses and gangs and whole states of niggas and whole areas of the country beefing over a assumed beef that really was created, that really wasn't nothing real. You know what I'm saying? Like, watching that shit between Biggie and Pac, the way it spiraled into both of them being killed is one of like the hugest, most fucked up things I think I saw growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, in real time, growing up early on, loving Pac, loving Biggie, watching them all over the place, movies and TV shows and the music. And then, when you look back on it and realizing that they got killed over some shit that really was instigated by everybody but them in real life. Like, in real life, I feel like if it was just left to Biggie and Pac, that shit would have been squashed. But because they had people in their camps running that shit and telling them what to think about one another to create this beef in the first place, it has always been such a dark energy for me, and I don't like it. And so I'm glad that J. Cole said this. Kendrick, you can handle it however you want to handle it. You know what I'm saying? But I respect J. Cole and I appreciate this energy because it is sincere and it is real and it's what I prefer. Because as much as everybody wants blood, like, how much more do you need? How much more do you need? Like, give me a fucking break. But anyway, y'all, let's move on. I want to talk about Nicki Minaj right now. While we're talking about rap, let's go ahead and move to Nicki. So, wrong one. Nicki invited a bunch of rap girlies during her show to perform, right? I think one of her last shows she did, Gag City, or whatever they're calling it. And people had a lot to say about it, right? I tweeted about the shit, okay? And I basically said that I feel like everybody that she invited to perform were people who have been bullied by her and they've succumbed to the bullying. There's a group of girls that kind of fought back and there's a group of girls that succumbed to the bullying. And I think, because you can't tell me that JT was not bullied by Nicki, because I feel like I saw it on live, first of all. Second of all, the situation with Akbar V, girl, you've been on your knees sucking and all on this lady's clit for the longest. It's about time that she got you up off your knees and brought you onto a stage so that you can actually do your thing, so you can do what it is you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Because Akbar V is a really good rapper, but she does so much bullshit that doesn't help her music, it's almost like you forget about the music because it's always bullshit. Like literally right before you perform with Nicki Minaj, you're online talking about somebody else's children. And we are still wondering, do you have custody of yours? Do you know where they are? Are they okay? Are they safe? Do you even fucking care right now? Or do you only care about making sure that you get your next surgery, or that you're in the studio, or that you're online caping and flying for people who finally have made it worth it for you? You got to perform. We're so happy for you. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's how I felt about it. And it's not that Nicki hasn't worked with other women. Of course, Nicki has worked with people before, especially like years ago. Like we talking about maybe 10 years ago. But as of recent, at her current pedestal, like, no, like Nicki doesn't have to work with anybody. And so when Nicki does work with people, there are two things happening. For one, it's good for business. It's good for her to stay relevant. It's good for her to get a number one if she's hopping on a Doja Cat song, if she's getting on a Meg song. Like that's to keep her relevant and on trend. Okay, to be very fucking clear. Y'all act like old rappers don't have to be current and trendy. They do. They do. Which is why she will go and do songs with other people. But at this point, Akbar V, JT, and some of the other girls that I saw all seem like the girls that Nicki punks. That's what it seemed like to me. So this is her message. Nicki only collaborates with, well, I guess your faves are all nobodies who can't compete because they've all gotten the collaboration they requested. Silly wabbits. Gag City Tour has already made history for being the most successful tour by a female rapper in history after only 17 shows. Honestly, y'all, I don't see how that's like, when you really look at it, I don't see how she wasn't supposed to break. Who are the other female rappers that have toured that are rivaling her? Because there aren't a lot of female rappers, y'all. You want to be real? There aren't a lot of female rappers, y'all. And so for you to topple people who used to come out but only come out with a crew, like Kim, Eve, a lot of those female rappers came out with crews, or they didn't have enough star power at the time to do a tour that was only them. So they did tours with other rappers. You know what I'm saying? That was a bigger thing going on back in the day than it is now. Like it is like more of a new thing to see a female rapper as big as Nicki do a tour that's just her. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't happen often. So to me, when she breaks these records, it's like, girl, who else is supposed to break the record if not the bitch that's been in the game consistently the longest? Because when you think about it, all of the other previous female rappers that have top charts, they were not current and consistent for the same amount of time Nicki has been. Nicki has been current and consistent for over a decade in the industry with no real competition. Back then, you had a whole bunch of female rappers that needed men to help them get on, that needed to be surrounded by men in order for their performances to be validated and you know, made important. Like Brat had to have JD and Criss Cross and all of them. Like women weren't in a place in hip hop at that time for them to have tours all by themselves and sell out like that. So when Nicki comes out and says these things, it's almost like, but girl, who else is gonna, like, nobody else has the longevity, the stats, and the setup of being in such a time where women are more prominent on their own now. Women don't need to have a squad of niggas behind them in order to be successful in rap. And back in the 90s and the early 2000s, you need a gang of niggas to support you. The only reason Missy, I believe, was able, and Missy had a squad of niggas behind her for a long time, to be clear, before she stepped out as her own solo artist, but she was also a writer and a producer for other artists, which made her more valuable. Not just the fact that she did different types of music and was very futuristic and out of the box. You know what I'm saying? But like, that wasn't even, I feel like Missy back in the day, you would see them do tours together, not just a tour with one person. So yeah, you know, like they're just now becoming like a Beyonce level to being a rapper. And Nicki is that. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, girl, who else is supposed to do this? She said, let me see where it ranks out of all hip hop tours, male or female, when we rap. Thank you to every girl. Great. Single supporter Barbs. I guess they was really believing a tour wasn't selling. That's why y'all really mad, huh? Love, like, listen, I really think that in some places your tour wasn't selling. I do. I do think in some places your tour was not selling and you canceled your shows. I do. I do. And I don't think that was shade to you. I think that was happening for a lot of people at the same time. I think that was an economic situation, not shade on you as an artist. Like, I think it was more so about the climate of the country right now and how we just spend all our money on Beyonce. Okay? Right. Missy's current tour is her first headlining tour. And this is somebody that honestly, if it was not for her, like there would be like no Nikki. Nikki wouldn't have been able to be like she was if Missy didn't come first, if Kim didn't come first. All of those women that could not stand on their own because of how the industry was back then, and they could, but they weren't allowed to. All of those women had to happen before we could get to Nikki. So it's just how I feel. But anyway, Nikki in this group of hoes, nobody cares about anywhere on the planet Earth, so she can say she showed love to someone. I really do feel like that's why she did it, so that she could tell y'all, hi, y'all always saying this. And it's like, girl, why do you care? Like, at some point, please stop caring about everything we're saying about you. Like, I get it, but at some point, stop keeping, like, she literally, I feel like, keeps note of everything that everybody says so that she can, come out and try to, like, create the spin to it. Like, why do you even care about what anybody says, girl? Just do your fucking thing. Right. Missy is about to do her first big tour in 20 years. 20 years later. It's easy to be the highest grossing female tour when you're the only female rap headliner. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're the only one. Who else is going to do it, bitch? Missy had Violator, Timbaland, and them. Exactly. Music current tour, right? I read that one. I went to that show because one of my friends dragged me and it was terrible. Nikki has no rhythm, no stage presence. There was no chemistry with the crowd. That's something I've always noticed, is that she doesn't have good stage performance. I've just kind of always noticed that. They were saying lately that she was doing better. I was seeing mixed reviews. I don't know. I'm not going, but do your thing. I'll listen to you on my phone and in my car and shit. Kendrick supported Mr. Kelly. I don't know. Thank you, Maggie Pesky, for being a member for 2 months. I did not know he supported R. Kelly. Damn, Kendrick. But Kendrick does have a lot of anger towards women. If you listen to that song that he has where him and no girl are screaming back and forth to each other, like, it's in the music. Well, but I still like his music. But most of these niggas are misogynistic. Hey, Miss Chocolate Diva, thank you for being a member for 12 months. Hey, gang, Bondi, your videos has helped me through nursing program, decompression, graduate on May 2nd, almost time to blow a fat one. Yes, congratulations, my love. Congratulations. We love it for you. All right. I'm glad I was able to help. I just bought my Missy tickets, my for a concert ticket for the year yesterday. Everyone is going on tour this year and it's stressful. No, for real. I saw a TikTok of a girl saying like how many shows they had just in Atlanta, and she was like, bitch, I cannot go to all these shows. Stop. I cannot go to all of these shows. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Anyway, let's move on, you guys.